Hey PlanetWatchers, how is everybody doing? If you ask me, I'm fine. There is a lot of work, a lot of challenges around here, but also a lot of excitement. And I'd like to convey this excitement to all of you guys today. To do this, let me start from some recent news. On September 22, the World Health Organization issued new guidelines on air quality. What they did was they significantly reduced the limits for long-term exposure to the most harmful pollutants. In particular, fine particulate matter, what we call PM2.5, and nitrogen dioxide, NO2. And incidentally, both quantities, both pollutants are measured by our Type 1 device. NO2 in particular is produced in many ways, but in particular by combustion engines, so cars and the likes. So what the WHO said is that prolonged exposure, even to low levels of these pollutants, constitutes a significant danger to human health. So the bottom line is that there is no safe level. We have to do everything we can to reduce drastically our exposure to PM2.5, NO2, and other pollutants. So you see, what we aim to do at PlanetWatch, which is monitoring these and other pollutants everywhere, is very important, and we want to do it right. So again, reading that what we are measuring is very relevant for public health just gives us the motivation to pursue and improve what we're doing. Let's keep this in mind all the time, because again, we are not playing around here. We are doing something very relevant for public health. We aim to do this. Okay, so coming on the Earth to what we are doing day to day, let me give you a few updates. Last week I talked about a new set of FAQs updated and enlarged. This is work in progress. It's taking quite a bit of my time, but I believe it's very important. So that's in progress. Then the other thing which is being prepared is AMA Ask Me Anything about our technologies and the science side of what we do, which again, I just mentioned how important this is to us. There are forms which went online. We already gathered lots of questions, and we'll be starting to answer these questions as of next week. Okay, so that's one thing. There are lots of questions obviously about devices, availability of new devices and all that. So in particular for Type 2, but not just for Type 2. So there will be definitely new devices before the end of the year. That's quite exciting to me, because I think that will be very interesting devices, and will make it easier for people who want to join PlanetWatch to get a device and get onboarded. And it is coming, it's under preparation. And in terms of the way the devices will be sold, as you know, if we sell devices and you purchase a license first, the license puts you on the waiting list for those devices which will be actually sold by us. Now, these new Type 2 devices will be mostly sold by us, but could they be eventually possibly sold by others? Yes. It is not something that is foreseen for now, but what we know from experience is that sooner or later, any item can hit the market in unexpected ways. So I don't want to repeat all I said last time, but if you buy from us, you know that you buy from us, and we try to spell out the rules, the warranties, and all you get from us. If you buy elsewhere, just beware, check who you're buying from, what you are buying exactly, and make your decision. Kythera sales, by the way guys, we are late on some important items. We know that. You keep reminding us, and you're right, so let's clarify as much as possible where we stand. Now, Kythera sales started yesterday. As mentioned in a tweet, we did not send out all the emails for all the people qualifying for September batch in one go, for a very simple reason. We want to minimize the time between when you pay for a device and when you receive it. Since we are unable to process all sales in one day or two, we are not sending all the emails out in one go. because otherwise some people will be paying quickly and then wait for some time, which is not ideal, right? So emails will keep going out in the coming days, and the goal is that onboarding will happen as soon as all sensors from the September batch have been sold and delivered. Okay, but when this? Right, okay, let me put a commitment here. As you know, there are 3 items which are in progress, which are important, which is the onboarding of Kythera sensors and Aware sensors, as well as the final delivery of the new app. Now, these three things have been promised. We are all a bit late on all of these items. One reason being that these things are connected, because the new app will make onboarding, activation of this sensor easier. So to make a long story short, I believe it makes sense to set a single goal for the release of all of these 3 things, right? Onboarding of 2 types of sensor, release of the app. And I would say here, by the end of October, you guys will have the new app and these sensors up and running in terms of onboarding in our network. We'll try to do it earlier than that. We'll do our best. There are a number of items making this challenging. There are some Chinese holidays which affect some deliveries. There are a number of global issues which make this work not easy, but we are doing our best. All the September people will start on equal footing because we will activate when we finish deliver this, and I believe this can be end of October. So bear with us and just be aware that we are doing our best. Now, I will get now into a bunch of questions as usual. I will tackle some questions where I want, again, to give some message about clarifying what we can and cannot do. I'll try not to repeat myself too often, but when I feel that something needs to be clarified, I will not shy away from this. Now, here comes the first question. Do you cover the cost of PlanetWatchers who had a delay to get their September Equino batch? I'm going to be a bit blunt, but I hope it's clear. I see no cost to cover here because PlanetWatch is not an investment scheme. Sorry guys, it is not. PlanetWatch is an environmental monitoring project with rewards to those who help us generate data. Now, let's talk about costs, okay? What are you paying for? Our core service as PlanetWatch to the community is growing and operating the PlanetWatch network to deliver, test, and maintain all the blockchain and data analysis and connection software. Now, when you buy a license, you contribute to the cost of these services. And buying the license gives you the right to connect a sensor to our network for a well-defined amount of time and earn rewards based on your data streams. Now, as you know, your license time starts when you activate a sensor, where you link the license to an active sensor. So a sensor delivery delay doesn't affect your license time. You're not losing out in terms of license time. Okay, having said that, of course, we do our best to minimize delays when we sell sensors. But as I said several times, we are not in the business really of sensor shipment and logistics. Plus, the market is tight. There are a number of issues. So again, we do our best, but this is not something we can guarantee. Sensor will be delivered tomorrow or so. And again, selling sensors, we see it as an extra service to the community. So be patient. Okay, that is some explanation, some answer. Having said that, I do remember a statement I made back in August, which needs to be clarified because it's often quoted as commitment to do something which is not exactly what we can do. So I think in August, I did say, or at least write in some blog posts, that during the PlanetWatch warranty period, if the sensor needs to be serviced or replaced, you will also get planners to cover the missed streams. Now, okay, let's work on this. So first of all, this sentence is about problems occurring after a successful start of service, so that your license clock has started ticking. Okay, So you have installed your sensor, it starts working, and then something sudden happens and it no longer streams data. So, as I said before, on the other hand, before the license starts, I consider there's nothing to compensate, because if the thing doesn't work from day one and we cannot sort out the problem together with you, in the worst case scenario, we can issue a refund both for the sensor and the license. However, if it starts working and then some fault takes place, first of all, of course, we'll do our best to solve them. If this takes time, here is what we can do. We can compensate for the lost time of your license. So we will grant you extra license time so that in that time you can earn extra planets. So in that sense, we are compensating with planets. But we cannot just throw planets on the table for a number of reasons, including regulatory reasons. So since you paid, your license pays for the time you can connect your sensor to the network, if sometimes gets lost after license activation, we will compensate by giving you extra license time. Okay, which is extra license time means extra time to earn extra tokens. Again, this applies if the thing first works for some relevant amount of time, say for at least 20 days, I would say, and then suddenly a fault occurs, no longer works. And again, first we investigate, because it could depend on a number of things, even trivial things, in terms of lack of connectivity or any number of things. If it comes down to a hardware problem and the system is under warranty, we can offer you what I just said. Okay, so for example, just to make a numerical example, if your sensor suddenly stops working after a successful period of at least 20 days of operations, and if it takes us, say, 10 days to restore service or to send you new sensors, you will get 10 extra license days. Whew. Now, let me look straight in your eyes, your remote eyes, and tell you the following. Please be reasonable. Do not flood us now with tickets to request extra license time for every single hiccup, because yesterday I got 18, I thought I would get 24, because we cannot handle that. That would just harm the project. If we have to spend our time answering unreasonable tickets, we cannot progress in our areas, and eventually we all lose out, because the success of the project from all points of view depends on us delivering on quality of data, timeliness of data, reliability, scope of the project, growth, and all this. And that is worth more than 1-2 planets, believe me, even for the individuals. So in other words, if we start to invest considerable time in ticket handling more than today, then it gets difficult. Having said that, bear in mind that we invest considerable time in asking manufacturers to improve their products. For example, in the future Arduino batches, not sure whether from which one, but very soon, an additional LED will display SIM card status. So that is meant to simplify the analysis of problems and shooting. So in that area, look around to believe that we are the only project among comparable ones that puts so much effort in protecting participants. That's my feeling. I may be wrong, but that's my impression. Okay. So, more questions. Is it possible to expect future integrations with other automotive products? Probably not. As I said, we keep reviewing devices and we assess both their performance in absolute terms. Automotive is a very reliable company, but also their relevance with respect to our goals. So I don't expect another automotive device to be on board as soon, but we'll see. Then there is a question about the recent CERN alumni meeting, which took place in Geneva, where CERN is, and I was in the area in those days last week. And the question is whether there's anything worth mentioning about those discussions. So it's been an interesting, very interesting online meeting. I also had some face-to-face meeting with some key people, and that was maybe the most relevant from the point of view of this community. I was basically looking to build a stronger collaboration with CERN. So as you know, we are a CERN spin-off. They already support us, mention us in their blog posts, Earth Day and other. They write about us, but I want to step this up. So I want us to engage with CERN in some specific project deliverables, let's say. It's a bit too early to say what's next because things are under discussion, but I mean, I can just confirm that we have a very strong, profitable and healthy relationship with CERN. They like our project, they see the value. We see the value of partnership with CERN, so we'll build on this. Okay, next question. This is one that I hope I won't get again, but okay. For the sake of clarity, let me answer this and let me explain again something. So the question is about licenses purchased on our website. So when I purchased my Type 1 license, there were 374 purchased. Right now I see a larger number of sensors active in the network. So what happens to the waiting list? How does it work? So, okay, once again, the waiting list and the number of sold licenses that you see on our website, on our e-commerce, say, so when you go to buy a license, you see numbers. So these numbers refer to individual PlanetWatchers, such as yourselves, buying online from us. Now, the thing is, there are other sales channels. First of all, people could get sensors elsewhere, as we said several times. Plus, we, PlanetWatch, also sell sensors from time to time to corporates when this is aligned with our goals, so when it makes sense to do it. Finally, in some cases, we might want to buy sensors for ourselves, so retain ownership of sensors and deploy them ourselves as PlanetWatch. So there are different sales channels, if you see what I mean. On the other hand, all sensors active on the network appear in the PlanetWatch Explorer and on the map. So because of what I just said, there is nothing strange if you see that the number of active sensors in the network on the Explorer on the map, for example, exceeds the number of licenses sold on the website, because not all sensors in the network are linked to licenses which were sold on the website. Okay, hope it's clear. And once again, please bear in mind that we are doing our best to ensure that a significant sensor stock is reserved for you guys. We do this by buying in bulk third-party devices, which is time-consuming and risky, and then reselling to you. So it is a big job. We try to do it as efficiently as possible, but that's the way it works. Okay, next question. There is a question about future batches and quantities for sensors. Now, again, let me be very honest and see what the best I can do for you. Since batches, generally speaking, change all the time, like suppliers say I can deliver 500 and then maybe say, oh, I thought I would get these spare parts and I didn't get them, or the price doubled, so I'm not going to get them this week. It's a very difficult market. So the details of batches can change very frequently. So it's a bit difficult to make forecasts. So I think that the best and most fair thing we can do for you in terms of communication is to display info over time on how many devices have been sold via PlanetWatch. So you can see actual progression and actual deliverable. So forget about batches. What you will be able to see is that in the month of September, we were able to sell and deliver, say, 600 Type 1, 320 Type 4. So that's a solid basis to assess, if you want, our performance as a seller. Okay, that this data will release and will show on the website. And I think that's a useful indicator for you. So once again, having said that, we're looking to scale up volumes. The hardware market is very tight. We don't want to build a monopoly. You know, you can buy where you want. And we will give you a visibility of our sales performance, how good we are at selling to you. Okay, then there is a question, I think, which came up earlier again. Some people who want to install several sensors indoors, they are fully aware of the rules for rewards. So they say, hey, I don't care about the rewards. If you like, I'm going to share the data of all my sensors with you without claiming rewards. That's generous, that's nice, but it will complicate our data management analysis. So we will not implement this for now. Thank you anyway. Next question. Some people point out that analyzing big data requires tremendous computing power, sure. And they ask whether we have the required resources and technology to do this and who is helping us on this. Now, in our team, in the PlanetWatch team, we have a full-time data scientist. We are looking to scale up this team internally and also to leverage external collaborations, both with industry and with academia. So it's a big challenge. It's a key challenge for our project, and we'll put the necessary resources in place. Okay, next. That's an interesting question. Is it possible to build in the functionalities that sensor rewards are split between two accounts? So some people are thinking of a situation where somebody owns the sensor and another person helps deploy it and maintain it. Yes, that makes sense for us. We are working to make this service available to you. So the possibility to split rewards with somebody who is helping out in deploying. That's a white paper question. Next, is there a sub-budget for tier 1 and tier 2 as it is between the different types? Yes, the way the budgets are structured, there are separate budgets by sensor type and by tier. Interesting question. Have you thought about building PlanetWatch's own blockchain? Okay, let me answer this way. We are working on many potential technical developments. So when things mature, you will be the first to know. Next question is, what are you doing with the data that you're getting from the sensors? Can you tell us what kind of analysis, what you're doing with the data? Yes. Well, I can give you two examples which were already mentioned, I believe. One is for indoors. There is this hotel, which is a client of PlanetWatch in Italy, where not only we deployed monitoring solutions, we achieved reset certification for them, and we wrote a scientific paper about it in collaboration with the university. So in the previous tweet, I believe we shared the link of the online version of this paper. So we are doing analytics and analysis on the indoor data. As for outdoors, something that we should have released earlier and we haven't, and we will do soon, we have made I would say, an interesting analysis for a medium-sized city in the south of Italy named Taranto, which has major air pollution challenges. We deployed a test network. We analyzed air quality data over some amount of time, and we came to some conclusions. So that report is to be translated in English, I believe, and we'll share it soon. And these are good examples, I would say, of the first data products, I would say, that we are building. And this will be improved and refined over time. Okay, then somebody thinks that he cannot get a license because he's living in Singapore. At the moment, as you know, there are two PlanetWatch websites, one on the .io domain and the other on .us. And you should know that most non-European countries are served by the .us website. So indeed, you can buy a license for Singapore, but you will find Singapore in the list of countries on the PlanetWatch.us website, not on the IO one. Oh, I like this question. What is the connection between Reset and PlanetWatch for air quality? Now, as you know, Reset is an indoor air quality standard which has been developed in China and is becoming very important. So what does PlanetWatch do with respect to Reset certification? Now, it works this way. In order to achieve Reset certification in a venue, the whole process of deployment, sensor deployment and operation must be designed and supervised by a Reset certified engineer. Then you must use Reset certified devices, like what we call Type 3. And finally, you have to share real-time data with Reset in a kind of Reset stipulated way. The thing is, there are not many certified professionals in Europe yet for reset. And one of these reset certified engineers actually works for PlanetWatch. Her name is Gabriella. She's a brilliant engineer as well as an air quality expert. Incidentally, she will run our Science AMA starting next week, so answering your science-related questions. Well, there aren't many companies who can provide turnkey reset certification solutions, especially in Europe, and PlanetWatch is one of them. So we are fully equipped to not only monitor air, but certified according to reset standards. And that's very interesting. Somebody is asking whether we could allow purchases of sensors with mixed payment, part in fiat and parts in Planet. I mean, I see the point, but that's too complicated to manage, so we won't implement that. Next question is about governance. How does governance work? Essentially, again, this is spelled out in a short section, which should be improved maybe in the white paper. So governance in PlanetWatch is basically based on sensor owner reputation. The higher your reputation, which is not money related, it's related to being able to operate sensors and stream data, the more weight you have in governance decisions. One more question. Will there ever be something like 2 different Type 1 devices? The answer is yes. I mean, as you know, the scope of PlanetWatch goes even beyond air quality, so we see the scope for a number of innovative sensors, which we classified basically according to the existing types. So the short answer is yes. Now, the last question is also extremely interesting. It comes from a person working in public health research who likes PlanetWatch. He thinks we can be relevant, and he's asking something about the quality of our future data sets. I mean, for the purpose of conducting very targeted analysis, he is asking whether we'll be able to attach, I would say metadata, including demographic data, to the data themselves. So the thing is whether or not we'll be able, for example, to say, hey, this data we're taking in households, well, based in this geographic area, where this type of a community has a stronger impact, where people are located close to a place where biomass is burned. So additional information helping to assess the impact of, I would say, lifestyles and external environmental parameters on air quality. And he says if you're able to do that, data will be extremely interesting for researchers. And yes, the answer is we know that this would add a lot of value to the data. We look forward to do this, so to collect relevant data and add as many metadata as possible for what's called segmentation. So we'll be asking over time people to disclose, if they are okay with that, some more info about where they place their sensors and their habits, maybe if they are smokers or not, and things like that. And everything, of course, will be leveraged in an anonymous way, as always. But I really like that a professional working in public health research is asking detailed questions about our data sets, and we are looking forward to work with these people and to give value to the data through external feedback and advice. Okay, I come to the end of this session. As I tweeted earlier today, this is one of occasions where this thing will not be broadcast live, because I have some travel to prepare. I have a number of things to do which happen to take place exactly at 6 p.m. French time. So this is not live, but I'm alive and I'm doing my best to answer your questions. And I like to close as usual with we are doing great. I think I can say that. We have a lot of traction from all points of view. We just need to strike the right balance between getting lots of things done, getting them done well, manage expectations, and build an even stronger partnership with you guys, because you are the heart of the project, you are the powerhouse behind the project. So we want to give you the best possible product and project. You have to help us, I would say, once again, with trust. So don't don't be suspicious about things you don't understand. You should assume that if something is not clear, it's our fault we are not able to explain it clearly enough. But we are not, generally speaking, hiding anything. There is no hidden agenda. We say what we mean, and we mean what we say. Having said that, which is a lot, keep happy, keep healthy, and keep watching the planet. Thank you. Bye-bye.